ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ian Ellis. I'm the Director of Marketing and Special Events for the Ontario Hockey League. I would like to thank everyone for joining us here today on what is sure to be a very exciting and very special announcement for the Ontario Hockey League. Today we will hear comments from all of our guests at the head table. As well, following that, we will have an open question and answer session, followed by an opportunity for media interviews and one-on-ones. Of the rundown of today. Before I get into the introductions of our esteemed guests up at the front, I would just like to acknowledge a couple of Mississauga City Councillors. Over to my right here, thank you very much for joining us. Mrs. Eve Adams, Councillor from Ward 5, and Miss Maya Prentice, Councillor, Ward number 3 in Mississauga. So thank you very much, ladies. At this point in time, I would like to introduce our esteemed guests up in front. Immediately to my left and following down, the chairman of the 2011 MasterCard Memorial Cup Site Selection Committee, Mr. Gordon Kirk. The commissioner of the Ontario Hockey League and president of the Canadian Hockey League, Mr. David Branch. Executive Vice President of the Mississauga St. Michael's Majors, Mr. Duncan Stoff. And the Mayor of the City of Mississauga, Hazel Kelly. And at this point in time, I would like to call upon Mr. Gordon Kirk for a few comments.
Thanks, Ian. Mayor McKellar, it's a very sunny, beautiful day in Mississauga. Particularly beautiful today. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the process. Just take a couple minutes of your time to understand what goes on in deciding the site for the Memorial Cup when it comes into Ontario every 3 years. First of all, the committee, the site selection committee, is made up of 4 voting members and 2 non-voting members. Commissioner Branch and I are the 2 non-voting members. The voting members, there's one present today, Frank Manello, a longtime executive of the National Hockey League, right over here. Those voting members of the selection committee who could not be with us today are Paul Beeston, president of the Toronto Blue Jays Baseball Club, Jim Gregory, senior vice president of hockey operations for the National Hockey League, and E.J. McGuire, the NHL director of Central Scouting. And that committee was faced with the daunting task and the challenge of deciding which of 4 finalists, which of 4 teams, and therefore which of 4 communities would represent the Ontario Hockey League in hosting the Memorial Cup, the 2011 MasterCard Memorial Cup. So it was not an easy task because the candidates were the Barrie Colts, the Kingston Frontenacs, the Mississauga St. Michael's Majors, and the Windsor Spitfires. And all 4 candidates put forward an absolutely outstanding presentation. You could not criticize any of them. They did their communities proud. Anybody who was from any of those 4 communities who saw the presentation would realize 2 things: that are represented by quality people on those OHL teams. And secondly, those OHL teams are very proud of the community in which they play hockey and wanted to win the bid for their community. So on that note, it was a difficult task, and to tell you more about what happened in fulfilling that difficult task, I'd like to call on our Commissioner, David Branch.
Well, thank you, Mayor McCallion, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed players, grade 4 class. It's a great day, and deeply honored and privileged on behalf of the Canadian Hockey League and the Ontario Hockey League to announce that the Mississauga St. Michael's Majors have been awarded the hosting of the 2011 MasterCard. I would like to thank the selection committee. All four gentlemen approached their responsibilities, as you'd expect, in the most professional and diligent manner. A very, very daunting task. The key elements in hosting the Memorial Cup, there's really 4 or 5 pillars. There's the quality of the hockey team that's projected to come back next year, the overall business plan. There's facilities, which include the arena facility, hotels, banquet facilities, award presentation facility and the like, transportation, and the overall community involvement in the event atmosphere. And clearly the majors not only met but surpassed, in the opinion of the selection committee, all the key elements that we regard as so very important in hosting a major event, the MasterCard Memorial Cup, the 93rd edition, I might point out. So it's a very exciting time for all of us here. Being on the inside, Gordon Kirk and I were talking about this a little bit earlier when we tried to figure out what put the majors over the top and comparing them to the other 3 bid opponents. And both Gordon and I kind of felt, and you had to see this, there was a presentation that included a video package, which were really highlights of Diesel Italian scoring at the Hershey Centre. So,
we're going to bring the Memorial Cup to Mississauga. And he doesn't forget his promises. And he made it happen. And thank you, David Branch. I've known David for years. He does a great job for hockey. And he helped us greatly when we had the Women's World Tournament in Mississauga. But now we've really hit the jackpot. I want to congratulate John Rudensky and his staff and all those of the city staff and the council who were behind us, supported it 100%. And so, it's going to be a great year for Mississauga to host the Memorial Cup. You know what it's going to do? There hasn't been the Memorial Cup in Mississauga since 1960s, in the Greater Toronto area since 1967. My gracious, it's time it came back. And it's time it came back to the best city in the GTA, Mississauga.